Consistency can be such a loaded word. It can conjure up thoughts of working hard, of feeling overwhelmed, of it being difficult, constantly doing things. But I want you to know that consistency doesn't have to be like this. There's things I don't care about when it comes to helping you be more consistent with your content creation, and I'm going to share 4 of them with you today. Welcome to the Powerful Content Podcast, your go-to source for content creation, strategy, and business inspiration. I'm your host, Mel Daniels, content strategist, coach, and speaker, empowering women across the globe to grow their business with powerful content that connects, nurtures, and converts. So, if you're ready to create standout content that gets you noticed and remembered, or build an aligned audience who love you and are ready to buy from you, you're in the right place. I believe that content has the power to connect us all. It's up to you how you use it. Listen in for genuine and insightful chats with guests, as well as practical tools and strategies from me. It's so lovely to have you here. Let's dive into the show. I acknowledge the Wongal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of the country that I am recording from today. I recognise their continuing connection to the land and waters. I pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all First Nation people listening today. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 120 of the Powerful Content Podcast. I hope you're well today. Thank you so much for having me in your ears today. I truly appreciate you being here, especially when there's so many other podcasts out in the world that you could be listening to. So thank you. Today, I'm touching on a topic that I know so many of you struggle with, and that's consistency when creating content. Now, I know that you know why it's important to be consistent, but it's around things like remaining more visible. It's about staying top of mind. And this is particularly important in a slow economy like we have at the moment. It can help you move your ideal client through that journey with you from connect to convert. And this includes nurturing them in the middle. It can increase your perceived expertise, and it helps you practice your thought leadership as well. And you know what? I could go on. There's so many reasons why it's important to be consistent with your content. So the question is, if it's so important and you know that it's so important, why are you not being consistent? Actually, I should say we. Why are we not being consistent? Because even I have my moments of yo-yo consistency. So if it's so important, why do we not do it? If it's going to bring us all of these wonderful things in our business and life, visibility, staying top of mind, thought leadership, if it's going to give us all of these things, why do we not do the thing? In my eyes, there's a few reasons, and I'm going to talk about these later in the episode and what you could try and do instead. But for now, I'm going to put my ranty pants on and tell you why it drives me absolutely bonkers that people believe, either through directly being told or through their own experiences, that consistency needs to look a certain way. Here's 4 things that I don't care about when it comes to consistency with your content, and I don't want you to care about it either. The first thing is that everything needs to be shiny and new and fresh. Oh my goodness me. This could look like creating every social media post from scratch, spending hours on one reel, creating new graphics in Canva every day. Sound familiar? There's 2 things going on here. One is that you're hiding behind procrastination and perfection, and it's stopping you from getting more content out into the world. And the second is that you just haven't been shown how to easily repurpose, or I like to say reimagine your content. If you go back to episode 10, that will really help you out in terms of reimagination. Actually, I really do need to do an updated recording on reimagination. It's probably time to reimagine the episode on reimagination. Stay tuned. So the truth here is that there are ways to skip the yo-yo consistency and create a more even keel by using the power of reimagination, which incidentally will also decrease your overwhelm and stress because you're not reinventing the wheel every single time. And a little behind the scenes tip here. When I create a promotional post for an offer or a free resource that I have, They all get saved into a Word document. And then in my content calendar, I have at least one offer promo and one email list growth promo a week. So I can simply copy and paste the text and then mix and match with a bunch of graphics I've pre-prepared. So there's nothing new and shiny and fresh with these. I just repurpose them. It's also so easy to show up in other Facebook groups on promo days, as I know that I'm saving time and brain space, not having to write everything from scratch. So when it comes to consistency, I don't care about polished, which leads to overwhelm. I care about you and finding ways to make it easy to support yourself to be consistent. Now, the second thing I don't care about is that your content has to be exceptionally well thought out. Yes, well, in a way, I kind of do. I want you to be purposeful and powerful with your content, absolutely. However, when it rears its ugly head in the form of perfectionism, your consistency is going to be the loser. The truth is, the more that you post or create, the better you become. Practice makes perfect. Striving for perfection stops you getting the content out into the world, but it also stops you from sharing authentic and valuable content that is relatable and that what your ideal client wants and needs to hear right now. When you're trying to be like someone else or someone who you think you need to be, then that's hard work. And when something's hard, guess what happens? We tend to give up more easily. So bye-bye consistency. There is a serious knock-on effect here. So if you find yourself sitting down to create a social media post and editing it 1,000 times and then not posting it, or perhaps drafting a blog but not finishing it, or writing an email but not scheduling it for fear of a possible grammatical error, if this is you, I want you to have the courage to hit publish today. Go and do it now if you need to. If you've got a draft sitting in a folder on your computer right now, I want you to go and hit publish. Because when it comes to consistency, I care more about you practicing and refining than I do perfection. The third thing I don't care about is something that I hear quite a bit, that you can't be consistent, as only naturally organized people can be consistent. Oh my goodness, the stories we tell ourselves. Now, it's true that over 50% of the people who take my content creator archetype quiz say that they are free spirits. So a free spirit is the type of person who really prefers to create in the flow and when they feel called to create. They are great connectors, but often find it really hard to move their ideal client onto the next stage of the journey with them because they're not terribly consistent, hence not a lot of clients. And if you haven't taken the quiz yet and you're wondering what I'm talking about, jump on down to the show notes to find the link. It's super quick and super accurate. If I do say so myself, I've yet had anyone tell me that it didn't describe them to a T, so go and take it now. But here's the thing. I often wonder whether all of these people, over 50% of the people who have taken the quiz, are really free spirits, or have they just not been shown how to create content quickly and easily? It's kind of like the chicken and the egg scenario. What comes first? Your free spirit inclination or your lack of skills to be consistent? So even those people who are truly free spirits can be consistent. I know, oh my goodness me. You can go back to episode 46, which is consistency for Go With The Flow creators, to find out more. But there is a way, believe me. One particular free spirit I know schedules 2 Instagram posts per week, but then leaves the rest of the week free for any content that she wants to share in the moment she feels called to create. At the very minimum, that means she has 2 posts per week that help her remain visible, top of mind, and adding to the touch points that her ideal client gets to move through the journey with her. She does those 2 posts on a Monday, but you could do it once a month or you could schedule them once a quarter. There's truly no right or wrong answer here. The fact is that she is consistent. She has 2 posts per week on Instagram. So when it comes to consistency, I don't care about how you label yourself or whether you think you're capable of consistency. I care more about giving you the skills and the knowledge to work with your strengths and make it easy. Now, the last thing I don't care about with consistency is the fact that most people think that there is a magic formula. If you've been around me long enough, you'll know that I do not believe in formulas. Yes, they can be helpful to give you inspiration, But trying to follow them exactly is where you're going to come unstuck. Because if it's not in line with who you are as a person, it will feel wrong. So if you're being told that consistency looks a certain way or has to look a certain way, such as consistency is an email every week, or 2 social media posts every day, or 5 reels a week, or a blog every fortnight, whatever it is, if you're being told this, then please run the other way. Consistency based on a formula is the pathway to overwhelm. So make sure you take into consideration your time, your energy, and resources and create content your way. I don't care about consistency looking a certain way. I care that you can do it in a simple and easy way. So that's the 4 things I don't care about when it comes to content consistency. I don't care about creating new content all the time. I don't care about perfection. I don't care about the fact that you think that you can't be consistent. And I don't care about other people's version of consistency. So the question is, what do I care about and what should you care about? Well, mostly I care about you. I've seen way too many times business owners just throw their hands up in frustration and disappointment and overwhelm, questioning everything they create. And in the end, not creating anything. And that's the greatest crime of all. Your ideal client is out there waiting to hear from you, needing to hear from you, so don't leave them hanging. Consistency doesn't look a certain way. It certainly looks different for all of us. And we shouldn't be blindly following other people's really platform-specific tactics when there's little regard to what support that they might have, the time they might have, and the energy that they have compared to you. They might have a team of people helping them. They may have time to meticulously create award-worthy reels. They certainly have no idea what your life, your experiences and strengths are, let alone who your ideal client is, like you do. So there's one thing that I want you to do. To put down your earbuds after this episode and have the courage to be more you with your content. Know your strengths, know your values, and know who you are as a person, and be courageous enough to share that with the world. Because once you become courageous and see that it works and see that people really respond to you being who you are, then that's when it's going to feel so much easier and you're going to want to be far more consistent. I was actually working with a client the other day and we were talking about all of the half-finished articles that were sitting in draft on her laptop. She explained to me that she didn't think that they were relevant to her audience right now, but she really enjoyed writing them and that publishing them might actually piss a few people off. And that's perfect, I say. She's A, obviously using her strengths and her love of writing, and B, shared a belief or idea that is intrinsically her. So strengths and you. To me, that's the perfect winning combination for creating content consistently. If you're feeling the same as this client right now, know that what you believe needs to come before what you think your ideal client wants or needs to hear. What you believe is more important. They will come running to you if you consciously talk about what your ideals and beliefs are. And if you piss a few people off in the meantime, well, that's difficult, but oh so worth it to not have to waste your time or energy worrying about them ever again. So if you are wondering what your strengths are when it comes to creating content, make sure that you go and do the quiz and uncover your strengths using the Content Creator Archetype quiz. And then the next step is to learn how to best support yourself to maintain your version of consistency. That's your version, not other people's version, so that you can do those things that we need consistency to do for us. Increase our visibility, stay top of mind, move your ideal client through the journey with you from connect to nurture and then convert. Increase your perceived expertise and practice your thought leadership. Now, if you have any thoughts or blocks around consistency with your content, I'd love to hear from you. Head on over to Instagram and send me a message, and let's get you in front of your audience in a way that feels easy and sustainable. Talk soon. Thanks so much for listening. That's it for another week. To get more powerful content in your life, make sure you're following along on socials. My handle is @meldbusiness. And just in case you're wondering, the groovy music for this podcast was created by Just Here on SoundCloud. I'd also be super grateful if you took a moment to rate and review this podcast so more amazing women like you can experience the power of content. And if you're like, hell Mel, stop talking, I'm ready to work with you now, here's how we can work some powerful content magic together. Firstly, come and join the Content Effect, my membership inspiring women with service-based businesses to ditch the content chaos and start creating stand-out content that gets you noticed and makes sales. You can join us by using the link in the show notes or just Google the Content Effect. The second way we can work together is via my one-on-one packages. We can create a sustainable content strategy or start to build out your client journey. It's up to you. Hop on over to meldbusinessservices.com.au/services to find out more. Until next time, have a beautiful week and embrace the power of your content.